What's up guys, TheGearChange here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be installing a cabin or odor filter for my XR5 turbo. Got it right here. I picked it up at the spare parts last week and thought it'd be cool to show you guys how to install it. I assume that mine's pretty much beyond past it, as I turned on the air conditioning the other day and it smelled a bit funny, so that's apparently one of the signs, and I knew I had to change it. I just didn't get around to actually getting the part, but I have it now, so I thought I'd show you guys how to do it. So yeah, I guess let's just get straight into it and I'll show you guys what tools you need and how to do it. Alright, so these are the tools you will need for the job. You need a little socket set with a 7mm and a socket set with a 13mm that's got a bit of depth on it, as one of the bolts is quite tricky to get to. You guys will see that in the video, so I guess I'll leave a list of tools you need here. So unlike the, I think it's the European variant, I believe they need to take out one of the throttle sensors, or even the pedal, I think, something like that. If you look it up on another video, you'll see what I'm talking about, so I guess this should be somewhat easier, I hope. I guess we'll soon find out, but yeah, so this is all I'm using for now. If there's any other tools that come up, I'll let you guys know, but I believe this is all I'll need to sort of get it done, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so here I am inside the Focus on the passenger side. I believe it's on the left-hand side for all Mark II Focuses, and I've got this little sort of panel here that covers I think one of my fuse boxes. So you just take these little things out and then they should just sort of pop down and out carefully. So I'll put that on my seat, two little clips. So you've basically got to get this thing here out of the way, which is a bit tricky because you've got the fuse box. So I think I'm gonna have to undo that and see if that can sort of pop down and out. I don't think I'll have to take this bracket off or anything. And you also have to take off this with a flat blade. So pop these two out, and then you've got two Torx 20 bits behind them. So I'll take this panel off and I'll see how truly difficult it is. And then I'll let you guys know the next step in regards to the fuse box. And yeah, I'm not gonna rush it. I'm gonna take my time because it is in a really, really crappy spot. Like, it's all the way back here, as you guys can see. This is where the actual cabin filter needs to go into. So I'll have to manage to obviously get this out the way so I can pull it out and pop the new one in. So I'll have a go and I'll record whatever I can find and show you guys as best as I can. Okay, so it appears that the body control module, or what I thought was a fuse box, has to come out. So you basically undo these little tabs here and they just sort of pop down, they won't fall out. You got two of them, so that one, and then this should sort of drop down. And as you can see on the side, I'll get my torch to show you guys. As you can see in there, it's got like a little lip and a little locking position. So you just try and bring that forward so it gets to the position you need it. I'm just gonna try and make sure my torch is facing the right way. There we go. So you just bring that up and forward for that one, and up and forward for that one. There's one, there's two, like that. Just so you guys can sort of see all the different plugs that you have to unclip. So most of them are ones that you need two hands for, although you can do it with one hand. So you've basically got to unclip the entire body control module. So you've got, I believe there's 6 of them. So yeah, there is fuses in there, yeah. So I think there's 6 of them that you have to unclip. It's kind of locked in here, hey. Move it back up. So you got those 2 main ones there, as you guys can see. So we'll have to undo those 2 first, and then we'll do the ones that are on the back side, these main ones here. So I'll undo those 2 at the front, and then I'll show you how to do the ones at the back. All right, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual plugs you have to take out. I did try my best to record me actually pulling them out, but yeah, it was very tight for space, and I couldn't get my hand in there with the camera. I'm so sorry, but it's pretty simple. If you look at these, you basically just sort of, they clamp down like that, and you basically just got to pull them forward, and then it releases. Same with these ones, so they're pulled back like that, and then you pull them forward, I think. Or no, they're forward like that, locked, and you pull them back. But yeah, so now that that's out the way, you have to get to the really exciting bit. So I'll carefully move this out the way. Sorry for my camera skills, it's very tight in here. As you guys can see, there's 2 of these bolts. So they are a 13mm bolt. you will need some sort of socket that's got a bit of length on it to actually get to it with those sort of bolts that are sort of sticking through it. I don't know what you call it, screw, bolt, something. Mounting point. So I've got one out of my dad's Sid Chrome cabinet because mine was not good enough. So you basically got to undo that bracket, and there's a little clip right there, you guys can see, that's holding in that wire. So not the one on the far left, but just next to it, so that one. You got to unclip and pop that out too, without breaking it, just so that gets out the way. And then you have access to the cabin filter, which is there up the back, which is, I think, 2 7mm bolts. So I'll undo this bracket, see if I can actually show you guys me doing that, and then we'll try and get that old one out. I'm horrified to actually see what it looks like. It could look alright, but yeah, I'm not hopeful. So here's the tricky bolt I was telling you guys about. So got to use a 13mm socket, and then you should, once you've cracked it, be able to do it by hand. Sitting on a bit of a funny angle, but boom. So there's one of them. You got to get 2 of them off. I would try and get to the other side and record, but with all these cables, it's a bit tricky. But yeah, so 2 of these ones. So got to take that out. I think I'm going to take that bracket off and then pop this little wire out here behind it on the left afterwards, just because I've tried doing it sort of as is there with my hands and I don't want to snap it. So yeah, I'll take the bracket out first and then see if I can pop that out, and then we'll continue on. Alright, so you guys can see the bracket is off now. If you have a look on the back, it's a little bit tricky, but it's basically just a little pop nodule. So sits in there. I just got my finger and pushed it with a bit of pressure and it popped out. So the bracket can now come out of the way. So yeah, I've got the bracket here. Geez, a bit tight for space in here, as you guys can see, but the bracket is off, so you can get all these clips out the way. One of the rings got stuck on the back with the clips. Doesn't really matter. It can either come out or it doesn't want to come out. This one stayed in, that one didn't. But yeah, so you got all these clips now. Now we got to actually get to the filter itself. So that'll be with the smaller socket system I have with the 7mm. So I've got that right here in my hand. So I think there's 2 or 3 bolts that hold the cabin filter in, and then it'll be a bit of a mission to sort of pull it out. I don't know how well the last one was put in. I don't know if it's the factory one or if the previous owner put an aftermarket one in. I really don't know, so I guess we'll have to find out. Alright, I stand corrected. There are 2 7mm bolts, as you guys can see, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. So I'm gonna get my little socket and try and get to that. I don't know if I'll actually be able to pop you guys anywhere and show you what I'm doing, maybe there. Alright, so with great difficulty, I moved all the cables out the way and got the torch in the right position to show you guys how to do it. I've got my 7mm socket right here. So that just pops on. And yeah, that pops pretty loose. Okay, thought I'd be able to do that by hand, obviously not. So much more difficult one-handed. Will that come out? Nope. Geez, okay, so that's actually threaded in there. Way tighter than I thought. Might pop that off and just do it by hand. There we go. Boom. So there's 2 of these, 1 at the bottom and 1 at the top. So I'll take them out. I'll show you guys what the filter looks like. I definitely should have chosen a smaller socket set. It was quite difficult to get the one at the top, especially with all that wiring there, as you guys can see. Yeah, it made it very difficult, and I was pretty much upside down doing it. So yeah, I don't know what the filter's going to look like. I've taken them out. I think this just pops forward. Yep, okay, there we go. So that's off, and then this just comes out, I think. It comes out, should do anyway. It's a bit tight. There we go. Alright, let's take it out and have a look what it looks like. Alright, so what is it? It is a genuine factory forward one, so just like the one I'm putting back in. Yeah, that's looking pretty yucky. Again, I don't know how long this has actually been in the car. There's no markings on it, but yeah, so not the goods. I'm glad I'm putting a new one in. I don't know if any of these numbers or anything actually mean anything in terms of when it was made. I don't think so, but yeah, so that's the old one. That'll just pretty much go straight in the bin. And then I've got the, you can see all the stuff pulled out of the car just to get to it, and here's the new one. So I guess that's a color difference in terms of the filters. Even though it's in the bag, you guys can see the difference in color and whatnot. So pretty sure the code name on here will be the exact same. Yeah, it looks to be the same. So yep, new versus old. So I'll pop this new one in, make sure I do it the right way that this one came out so it gets the proper airflow, and then I'll show you guys how to put everything back. Alright, so as you guys can see, the airflow symbol is there, so it goes vertically, so it'll pop in and slide in its place like that. So obviously when you turn on the air conditioning or the heating, it's going through the vents there, so it'll be a little tricky for me to show you guys how to pop it in. I will try my best, so I'll cut to me doing that when I've got the camera sort of set up over there where it's a bit neater and easier for you guys to see. Alright, so I've got the top and bottom in, and then you basically just slide it in like that. And then obviously you got to get your cover, which is down here, and pop that back on. So we'll try and, wrong way around. Very tricky for space. There we go. So you just got to get your two 7mm bolts that you guys took out earlier, and yeah, screw them back in, and then it will be a matter of putting the rear bracket back on, and then putting all of the harnesses back onto the body control module, and putting the little vent thing there. And then I guess I'll turn on the air conditioning to run it through and make sure everything's all good. With the lack of space doing this, I would honestly rate it just as annoying and frustrating to do as the diverter valve. I have also managed to make myself bleed again. Yeah, it's just real pain in the ass, especially if you're slightly tallish. To get in here, it really does make it hard. I've literally had to be in upside down just to get those two bolts in over there. But yeah, so I've got the bracket on. It's mounted in place. There was a tiny little bit of plastic. I don't know where it is. Let's see if I can grab it. This thing here that was sitting on the top bolt of where the cabin filter goes. I don't think it actually has any purpose. I don't think it actually does anything specifically. If it does, I can always take all this out and put it back. But for now, I'm just gonna sort of leave it and put it in my sort of spare parts box inside. You can hear that dog in the background. But yeah, so just gonna clamp all these back in and get this set back in its little holding clamps, and then we'll push it back up, lock these tabs into place and put the cover on, and then get the air conditioning on in the car to make sure everything's all sweet. So I'll plug this back in and I'll show you guys how I put it back in the holding slots. So once everything is back in its slot, you got the little blue one, the black one up the back, big blue one, orange one, and that green one there. So you got those ones, and then I'll just down and lift it up. It's a bit hard to see, sorry. And then you've got these two here that you've got to plug in. So yeah, once all that's done, you basically hold it up like I'm doing currently. It's a bit hard to do with one hand. I'll see if I can pop the camera somewhere. It's a bit hard, but I will. So sorry about that. Once you've got it in its slot, you basically twist and turn, and it will lock like that. And you do it on the other side, so you've got to twist once it's up and against it, and turn, and then it's in its slot. So there you go. So I've just got to get the little fluffy panel thing and put that back where it goes with these two little yellow tabs, and then we'll turn on the air conditioning and see how the new filter is, and see if the air feels a bit sort of I don't know, faster, smoother, doesn't smell as bad. So I'll let you guys know. Alright, so the cabin filter is in. You can still see the torch is down there. So yeah, I guess we'll see what the airflow's like. I'll start the car to get the air conditioning working. So there we go. You guys can see my lovely fuel range. Trust me, it isn't that good. Alright, let's turn on AC. I'll crank it. got a lot more power too, obviously, as it's not blocked. Yeah, that's really, really good. Definitely a lot better than what it was before. So I'm very, very happy with that. Alright, so that was the cabin filter install. I tried to make it as easy to follow as possible. I know there were some parts where it's probably skipping back and forth a little bit. I'll have all the tools in the description and yeah, I guess steps of how I did it. Yeah, it was quite tricky, especially on my back being upside down. Some people say it takes them 20 minutes. I'd say it's taken me 40 minutes to an hour or so. So a bit longer than usual. Yeah, I got stuck with a few different things, so tools and just issues with wiring and stuff that I had to get out the way, but I got it done, so that's the most important thing. The airflow is a lot better. As you guys saw, the old one was pretty much past. Apparently, from what my dad just told me, you have to change them every 3 years, I think, or there's like a certain kilometers that you have to do it at. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.